This topic comes under the theme of sustainability because I feel that it fits in well. When you have a mental illness, you have to sustain with it. You have to go through every day, you have to fight every day, and you have to keep going. These talks are usually given by an expert in the field, which may be pushing it for me. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, simply someone who has been through it and wants others to know that they can get through it too. So, there's me. I'm going to start by explaining a little bit about myself. Growing up, I was very sporty, very academic, and very much a perfectionist. I still am. It's a blessing and a curse. I really struggle with how people perceive me. I want everyone to like me. I'm sure people will understand the need to have people want to be your friend. You know, the thought of someone not liking me sends me into a panic. I want to do everything as best as I can, and I set up high expectations for myself. This kind of led to lots of issues, and I was eventually diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and ultimately anorexia nervosa. This happened about the age of 14, so it shaped the woman I've become today. It's true that a mental illness or any disorder does not define you. You are still you, no matter what label you are given. But we cannot deny the fact it makes us see the world a little differently. The Evie before I became ill is very different to the Evie now, and that took a long time for me to come to terms with. I had to accept that I was growing into someone I didn't know. So, yeah, this is me running. That was my main sport, as well as badminton and football. Fortunately, I'm in a place now where I'm able to accept my bad habits and notice them before they become too harmful, and I'm able to use my experience to help others, because I see it as a sign of strength and not weakness. The biggest turning point for me was when I committed to recovering from my eating disorder. There were 3 years past since being first signs of anorexia and, well, understanding that I had to change. It was a long 3 years. I started off just trying to be healthier, trying to control things in my life, and I used food and exercise to do that. Soon I was eating the same meals every day. I had rigid timings, I had rules that I had to follow, and it took over everything. I was admitted to an outpatient eating disorder team where I went for weekly sessions, including weigh-ins and dietetic appointments. At this point, I was still insisting that I was fine. I thought I had everything under control. My parents were just worrying and obsessing, and they didn't need to. I was no different to all my friends. Okay. Yeah. It wasn't long after this that I ended up being admitted to an inpatient facility. I lived here for 11 months. That was my room. And it was a huge part of my life. I'm not going to forget it. And I made friends there. I'm not going to forget. Eating disorders, they're not simple. People think it's about appearance and vanity. They think it's just about wanting to be skinny. They think, I don't know what they think. Once you've been through it, you know it's not like that. Everyone has a different journey. What I went through was completely different to some of the people who I was in hospital with. And it's not just a diet. It's not something that just got out of hand. It's got underlying psychological issues which you need to address if you want to overcome it, as with any disorder or mental illness. It took me a long time to come to terms with this. I realised I had to commit to my own recovery, and I had to take responsibility for that myself. No one else was going to do it for me. So I talked to my parents, my family, my friends. I opened up about what was happening. I accepted the fact that I had a problem. I made an Instagram account, which is quite a common thing in the eating disorder community. You track your recovery, you share with people in similar situations how you are doing, you know, take challenges, just biscuits and things, which I would have never touched, but I had a community behind me where I could share that with and who had my back. I rested, which is really hard to do when you want to be up and doing everything, but I had to accept that I can't do everything that I used to be able to. I used to be a type A perfectionist who would get up every morning and do revision 8 in the morning to late at night. I never missed a day of school, and I didn't let myself off if I made a mistake. I'm still working on it, but I've come a long way, and now if I'm tired, I sleep in. If friends want to make plans, I might prioritise that over going, out, well, whatever. So it's anyone who's been on a similar journey knows how much energy it takes just to overcome the bad habits, and I won't say bad habits, but the negative cycles that you can get yourself into, because it is a spiral that can descend quite quickly. I'm working on finding a balance so that I can still be the person I want to be, but also take care of myself. So that leads to where I'm at now. Self-acceptance isn't easy, and when you're used to criticising yourself every day, it takes a long time to overcome, so you need to be patient. You need to talk to people, which is incredibly hard, but is incredibly worth it. I think opening up is one of the most difficult things you can do when you want to convince yourself that you don't need help. But asking for help doesn't make you weak, it makes you very strong. And I don't think people understand that enough. It doesn't matter if other people don't understand it though. As long as you understand it, when you are going through it, then that's all that matters. It's your life, it's not theirs. I don't think I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my family and friends and partner, supporting me through all this. I'd like to say I could do it on my own, but I wouldn't want to. So, some of the most incredible people I know have gone through mental illness their entire lives. They've struggled, but they've managed to build those lives higher than they thought they could, despite the bags that they carry. The point I'm saying is, you don't have to let this hinder you. You can keep doing what you want to do. You can keep being the person you want to set out to be. And I'm going to say again that a label, a diagnosis does not define you. It's not the end of your story. You can keep doing it. You are incredible. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. You are stronger than anyone else could realise, and you're going to get there. You deserve to be kind to yourself and be patient with yourself, because you should be proud of how far you've come. I'm proud of myself for getting here and talking here, because a few years ago it wouldn't be possible. I was told I wouldn't make it to uni. I was told I wouldn't get GCSEs. And now I'm, nervous, but I'm doing it. I'm up here. And like this poem by Lana Raffaella, I think it's brave, and I think anyone who is going through a similar thing is so unbelievably brave, and you should be proud of yourself. Thank you.